It's what we do. But today, I want to focus on something that would really help really will help you in just about everything, but I think this is more of an authentic community thing, like part of a community. And that's learning how to be thankful, which is the quality or feeling of being grateful or thankful, expressive of gratitude. How many of you know if you're having a bad day, just start being thankful? Like start counting all the stuff that's going right in your life, right? I mean, listen, I on purpose don't watch a lot of news. I will check the news first thing in the morning, especially on Sunday mornings. I'll check the news to see if any tragedy happened the night before. Because I learned a lesson. I stood up here one day, a tragedy had happened. I didn't pay attention to the news. I didn't know anything about it. I went through the whole service. I didn't mention it. I had several people really upset with me because I didn't mention it. Well, I didn't know. So I will check the news in the morning and see, did any tragedy happen? And that's about it. Because most of the news today is negative. Most of the news today is, they get paid, they make their money off of presenting worst case scenarios. And if you go to one station, they have their viewpoint. You go to another station, they have their viewpoint. And lots of times those are opposite, right? And so you're like, well, I'm not sure who to believe. Well, I'm not sure either. But probably best if it's not positive to stay away from it. So I want to talk to you about thankfulness a little bit and gratitude. Psychology Today says gratitude is an emotion expressing an appreciation for what one has as opposed to what one wants. So gratitude is thankful for what you have. How many of us in the room know we have a lot to be grateful for? The fact that you are in this country, you're in this place, that is a huge up on many places in the world, right? I mean, if you were born in America, you kind of won the lottery in a lot of senses. Now, I'm not saying we don't have a lot of things wrong here. We do. We have a lot of things wrong. A lot of things could be better. But there are other countries that you could have been born in where things are really a lot rougher. Elizabeth and I went to Cuba maybe 8 years ago. We went to Cuba on a missions trip. I had never been in a communist country before. Cuba is very much a communist country. I had never been to a communist country before, and I was shocked to see people in Cuba who are terrified of their government. In fact, when we first got there, we were walking around, and we had a free day. So we were walking around and kind of going around, and I was like, I'm not sure if we should be walking in some of these neighborhoods. I just didn't know. So I asked one of the guys that set up the trip. I said, are we? He was Cuban. I said, are we safe? And he looked at me. He goes, yeah. He goes, there's no crime here. And I said, why? He said, because if you commit a crime, they'll take you out back and shoot you. That wasn't a joke. That was for real. Like a communist country, these people are terrified of their government. I'd never been in that situation before. So, when we're here, just the fact that you're here, you can be grateful for, right? Like we can all be grateful that we have this opportunity. Again, America's not perfect. There's a lot that has to change in America, but together we can. I can't change America, but hopefully I can change some of Eureka, right? If all of us in this room get together, we could change Eureka, and so that's what we should be going for. Man, I could tell I haven't been here for a couple weeks because I got a lot to say this morning. I'm just wandering all over the place. So get ready for a ride this morning. All right, let's go to Kahoot. We've got a poll question I want to ask. Now we're getting into some 4th of July stuff. Let's get into the poll question. Let's see what you guys like to do here. How do you celebrate 4th of July? Fireworks, barbecue, parade, relaxing. Do you do your own parade? All right, looks like, fireworks and barbecue are pretty close, huh? Fireworks and barbecue. Which, listen, the 4th of July is a great time to get together and celebrate gratitude. Celebrate thankfulness. Celebrate each other. And realize part of what we do here that we're really serious about is authentic community. Like, invite people in this room. Invite people over. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be expensive. Do something where hey, bring a family, bring something to eat. I like to invite people over to my house for dinner. And when they ask what they can bring, I said, well, you can bring a main course and a dessert. And no, I'm kidding. But invite people over, right? It's a great time to celebrate. It's a great time to do stuff together. So Colossians 3:15, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. It's like he started with his message of, let the peace of Christ be in your heart, and that's also, and be thankful, right? Because he realizes that the more thankful you are, the more of the peace of Christ you're going to have. The more Jesus is going to be able to come into your heart and bring you peace, the more thankful you are. It's just the way it works. Colossians 2:7, rooted and built up in him, strengthened in the faith as you were taught, and overflowing with thankfulness. Have you ever met somebody that's overflowing with thankfulness? I mean, I have. They're the people I want to be around, right? Like, people that are just overflowing with thankfulness, people that are full of joy, people that are full of gratitude. Those are the type of people I want to hang out with. And then 1 Thessalonians 5:16 and 18, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. All right, now, let's take a moment, let's quiet ourselves, and let's just think about that. Let's think about the gratitude. Let's think about the peace. Let's think about just being thankful. Just take a second. Just close your eyes. Just listen to him. Jesus, what do you want us to learn today? What do you want us to hear today through this? So 1 Thessalonians, always, rejoice always. Rejoice always. Does that say rejoice when everything's going great? It says rejoice always. What does that mean? When things are going bad, when things aren't working your way, when something happens, find a place to rejoice. Find a way to rejoice. Find something to focus on. The worst thing you could do when things are going wrong, the worst thing you could do when things don't work out all right is focusing on that. Focus on the negative. Listen, just try to put that aside. Try to turn your attention to something that is rejoiceful. Think of, everybody has somebody you can rejoice in. Everybody has somebody, something. Learn how to be rejoiceful. Learn how to rejoice in any situation. Pray without ceasing. There's a lot of books out about prayer. Long time ago, there was one called, it was like, Could You Not Tarry an Hour? Do you remember that one, Jerry? Well, who wrote that? Dr. Tim somebody. That's very helpful, Jerry. Dr. Tim somebody wrote a book, and it was, Tim LaHaye. And that was, Can You Not Tarry? No, that's not. Okay, anyway, forget it. It's not important. It's not important. I had an argument break out here on the front row. There's all kind of books out about praying. But you know what the key is pray without ceasing. What does that mean? That looks like speaking to Jesus all the time through your day. Listen, I'll admit to you, I don't have, I know many of you do. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying you're doing it. I'm just saying I'm different, all right? I don't have a time where I'm going and I'm going to sneak away into my prayer closet for an hour or two. I admire those people who do. I'm not one of those people. If I sneak around in my prayer closet, I'm going to fall asleep. It's just what I do. I'm not going to be able to go in a closet, just focus. It's not me. But you know what is me? Is I talk to Jesus all the time, all day long. I'm speaking to him. I'm talking to him. I'm having conversations with him. I'm having, I'm in my car and I'm talking back and forth and I'm processing with him. I think that's what pray without ceasing means, is making him a part of your daily life. Like every part of your life needs to include him. What does the creator of the universe not want to know? He wants to know everything. He wants to know what's in your heart. He wants you to share it with you. He wants you to be expressive, to let him know what's going on, to talk things, to work things out. So pray without ceasing. So rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances. Give thanks in all, say all circumstances. That means I'm having a bad day. I'm going to give thanks for the day. I'm going to give thanks for this. Like, I don't know. Listen, I've got, this is hot off the press, just happened, all right? So I've got a rental house we're trying to sell. A lot of you know about it. We've been trying to sell it for a while. It's just not selling. The market's whatever. You know, my wife has moved to Chico for a job. If you're new, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We're fine. We're great. We've got a great relationship, great marriage. We love each other madly, all that stuff. But she moved for a job. So she's going to live in Chico, but originally she was going to live in Oroville. Is anyone in here from Oroville? From Oroville. All right, I'm safe. So originally, we were like, if the house sells, we're going to go buy a house in Oroville. So we went to look for houses in Oroville, and we found one. The house didn't sell, so we couldn't buy it. And now, now she's actually living in Chico, and it's like, wow, Chico's a lot nicer than Oroville. Like, since nobody's here, I'm just going to be honest. Oroville sucks, all right? There's nothing to do. It's not a great place. So if we would have sold that house 3 months ago, we would have bought a house in Oroville, which wasn't what we were supposed to do. So the house didn't sell, right? So I could rejoice in that. And that's what I've tried to do with this process. It's like, okay, God, you know what? I know you're in control. Like, I really do wish the house would sell today. That'd be great. But he's in control. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't see the big picture, but I'm going to put my life in his. I'm going to put my faith in him. I'm going to say, God, I trust you. And however that works out is what I'm going to go with. That's thanks in all circumstances. In everything we want to give, even when things don't work out the way you think they should. Like there are a lot of times where I think, God, you have no idea what you're doing, and you should do it this way. Come on, you all have thought that at one time or another. But I'm always wrong because he does know exactly what he's doing, right? All right, so give thanks in all circumstances. Now, a number one key to thankfulness and gratefulness, listen, it's easy. You just have to practice. You just have to practice. You have to become somebody that practices being grateful. You have to be somebody that practices being thankful. And you have to be somebody, and I didn't write this down, you have to be somebody that practices keeping your mouth shut if you don't have something that's nice to say. Right? Like, don't say stuff that isn't thankful or isn't grateful, because the world is full of those people. What if we became a people? What if we became God's people in Eureka, and every time somebody met us, they walked away going, man, that Jerry Heine guy, he is the greatest guy I've ever met. He is so grateful, so thankful, so amazing, so incredible. What if they said that about all of us? You thought I was going to insult you, but I didn't. What if they said that about all of us? What if all of us had that attitude? We picked that up. We picked that mantle up. We put it on, and that's who we were. I guarantee you, if you own a business and you start practicing this, it gets around. Listen, I had to, this week we had our fireworks booth, and because we moved it, it was really hard because it was a last-minute move. We had permits. We didn't have a business permit from Eureka. We had all kind of stuff we were under the gun to get. I had to go into Eureka City Hall to do the permit and stuff, right? And it's a process. But I got to tell you, I walked out of there. They were the nicest, most helpful people I've ever encountered in any kind of city government. I mean, the people that I had 2 different people working with me at the counter, and they were fantastic. They bent over backwards. And I walked out of there going, wow, this is the city government. Like, these guys are great representatives. Like, I would go back in and, if I had to, I'd go back in and do business again with them because they were great, just helpful. What if that's what people are saying about us? When we first took over this campus years ago, when Lifehouse came here and we took over this campus, I remember meeting with the staff, and here's what I said to them. I said, listen, here's what I want our core foundation to be here. When people show up here, I want them to walk away saying, those were the nicest people. That was the best encounter with any Christian I've ever had. You notice I didn't say I want you to win them to Christ. I don't want them, I didn't say, hey, when they walk through the door, I want the full court press. Like, they don't leave here unless they say the sinner's prayer. Guys, that stuff doesn't work. What works is a genuine, legitimate relationship with people, where people could see your heart, they could see your kindness, they could see who you are, they could see what you believe, they could see your values. And they walk away, and then they come back with more interactions, and they get it again, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're one of us. That's what we need to be going after. But the more you integrate thankfulness and gratefulness into your life, the easier and more routine it will become. So 10 tips to thankfulness and gratitude. Say out loud 3 good things that happen daily. I know it's early, so turn to your neighbor and say one thing that happened today that you're glad about. One good thing. Does anybody not have one that they could say? All right, because I was going to give you permission to use me and say, I'm here listening to Willy. All right. Are you guys ready for that? So say out loud 3 good things that happen daily. Every day, practices. You can do it in your car. Nobody's going to hear you. 3 good things. Say it every day. 3 good things. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down stuff. Write down stuff. Something great happens, write it down. Put it somewhere so you could go back and visit it. So you could go back and look at it and read it and pick it up and say, okay, you know what? I'm having a really tough time here. But man, I've been reading this journal. I was having the same kind of tough time 5 years ago, and God really came through. Right? Like a gratitude journal. Say thanks to your spouse or partner. Those of you that are here, go ahead. If your spouse or partner is here, turn and just say thank you to them. Say thank you. That was hard for Nancy to do. Listen, every day, be grateful for who God has given you. Every day, be grateful for who God brought into your life. Every day, be grateful for the people that God has walking alongside you. Be grateful for that. If you don't have a spouse, you don't have a partner, be grateful for the friends that are around you. Be grateful for the people that are around you. Be grateful for the other relationships you have in your life. Be grateful for those. Those are a gift. You guys realize relationships are a gift. Relationships are a gift. Thank yourself. Have grace for you. Listen, a lot of you in this room need to develop this. You need to get grace for yourself. I ask people this sometimes when they come in, they're having a hard time and they're being hard on themselves. I will ask them this. If you were talking to your best friend in the world and they were having the same thing, they did the same thing, what would you say to them? And they always answer with grace. They always answer with patience. They always answer with love. They always answer with care. But we don't do that for ourselves. When it comes to us, we beat ourselves up. That's not healthy. It's not helpful, right? Listen, if beating yourself up and having no grace for yourself, having no patience, no kindness, giving yourself no break at all, if that worked, I wouldn't need to have a job, right? Because nobody would ever come see me. Nobody would ever come talk to me. Nobody would ever need my advice on anything. You got to give yourself a break. You got to let go of stuff. Number 5, stop the negative talk. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Do you know that most people have thousands of negative self-talk that happens to them every single day? And you know that all of that negative talk is a lie from the pit of hell. It is a lie. It is a lie. You have to stop it. The Bible says take every thought captive. Listen, when that negative thought happens, when something happens and you are going down there, stop yourself. In the name of Jesus, stop. In the name of Jesus, I just say, no, this is a lie. I proclaim this to be a lie, and I'm going to focus on the truth. You have to do this. You have to speak out. You have to take control. Nobody is going to control that except you. And it seems, I can hear Lorraine all the way back in the bathroom. She's walking all the way back in the bathroom, yelling and screaming. And I am so thankful that she's here. Stop the negative talk. If you catch yourself with negative talk, well, this is just the worst thing that happened. My business is going to collapse, or I can't conquer this, or I can't do this, or I can't stop. In the name of Jesus, stop. In the name of Jesus, that's a lie. That's a lie. You've got to take this stuff. You've got to take it captive. Nobody will take it captive but you. All right? Nobody will take it captive but you. Send 3 thankfulness messages a week. Listen, this is pretty easy, especially with texting. Text somebody. You could send 3 a day. Text somebody, hey, I really appreciate you. Is that hard? That's it. Hey, I really appreciate you. Or, hey, thank you so much. You did this the other day. I saw that. It was just amazing. Just practice. Practice. Just be thankful. Practice. Let people know. I mean, wouldn't you want to walk into an environment where everybody is thankful and grateful and positive and reaching out to you and all that stuff? Wouldn't you want to be in that kind of environment? So send 3 thankfulness messages a week. Okay, and my sister, who I've got a word, I'm not going to use it, is a smart you-know-what, just sent me a text that says, I appreciate you. No, don't clap for her. No, stop. She was not doing that to be thankful. She was doing that to distract me. Do not clap for her. All right? There is for real thankful, and then there's play thankful and pain in the butt thankful, and that's what she was trying to do. So do not clap for her. Send 3 thankful messages a week. You could do it in a week. Try 3 a day. Be thankful. The more you practice, the better you get. Celebrate the good moments. You have to stop and celebrate wins. Celebrate the good stuff. Listen, I tell you what, number 7 is the worst thing for me. I struggle with this more than any. One of the reasons why I think it's really good that I didn't go in the profession of coaching. At one time, I had an opportunity to go that way. I went into ministry, which maybe you say that was good or bad. I don't know. But I could have gone into the profession of coaching. But so I ended up coaching anyway. I just coached on a high school level. So I coached high school football for 19 years. And here's the problem we had. I coached on teams where we went undefeated and we won championships. I coached quite a few of those teams. But every time we won a game, the moment the game was over, instead of celebrating, instead of like, yay, we won, I would start working on the next game without fail. Drove our other coaches crazy because I would not stop and celebrate. I wouldn't, they would go, let's go have an after-game party. It's like, oh, you guys go ahead and go. I'm going to watch some film. So I struggle with this. I'm just being honest and open with you. I struggle getting the victories. But we need to do that. I need to do that. All of us need to be able to celebrate when we have a victory that we need to put and go, that worked out great. That was awesome. Yay, God. Celebrate the victories. I'll help you do that, and you help me do that. Deal? Number 8, look for silver lining. There's always a silver lining, guys. There's always something. Maybe you're going through a really tough time. Maybe you're going through a really hard time. But here's the deal. God is working in that. Whatever that time is, whatever that moment is, God is working in that moment. I've been through really tough times. Most of you know my story. Not going to rehash it. But trust me, I've been through really hard times. And in every one of those times, and I mean every one of those times, as I look back now, I see God, I see how he shaped me, how he changed me, how he changed my character, how he did stuff for me, how he did all the stuff, and how he made me somebody different, because that's the silver lining. So whatever you're going through, look for silver linings. I promise you, they're there. Look outward and not inward. Listen, you guys know we used to have Bethel School of Supernatural Discipleship. We had a lot of students here, and it used to drive me crazy because I get a 19, 20-year-old telling me, I just need to take a day, I need to take a day off for mental health because I just need to go focus on my problems. It's like, hold on. That's the worst thing you could do. Like, so you're going to take an entire day and think about all the negative thing going on. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Maybe take a day off and go have fun, go do something totally fun that's not. But if you're just sitting around thinking about everything that's going wrong, you're missing life. I mean, yes, I get things go wrong. I get things are tough. I get all that. I understand that. Things don't work out. But in the midst of that, you have to come back to this. Jesus, I'm yours. Jesus, however this works out, I'm going to trust you. Jesus, I may not understand this, but I'm going to trust you. Right? I mean, that's what we're called to do. That's who we're called to be. Are our heaters still on? Because it is burning up in here, is it not? Am I the only one hot? Ah. All right. Anyway. Change. I'm so thankful for the warmth. I'm so thankful the sweat is just getting rid of all the bad stuff in my body right now. I'm so thankful for deodorant right now. See? Huh? Change your perspective. Change your perspective. Now listen, I want to be careful with this. I want to be careful with how I say this, all right? Change your perspective may mean that you have to change some relationships in your life, okay? Now, I'm not saying you have to ditch people. I'm not saying you have to get rid of people. I'm not saying you have to turn away from people. But what I am saying is that there may be some people in your life who are so negative that maybe you just need to listen to a little bit less. Maybe you need to begin to put maybe their opinion second or third in your life and not first, right? I mean, all of us are the opinion that should matter the most to all of us is Jesus. That's the opinion. And if you have somebody in your life that everything that comes out of their mouth is negative, is whatever, maybe you've got to have a talk with them and say, listen, I need you to stop being so negative around me. Like, you're affecting me. You got to change your perspective. You got to see things from a different standpoint. You got to see things from a different plane. Sometimes you just got to try to put yourself in a position where you say, all right, I really want to see this from a perspective of the kingdom of heaven. I want to see this from a kingdom perspective. I want to see this from what's God setting up? Do you know that God has a plan for your life? I mean, do you really know that? Do you really know that God has a vital plan for your life? That God has something that he has laid out for you since the foundations of the world? God has a massive plan for your life. And it may mean that you're going on a journey that you don't understand because he's trying to get you someplace that you could never see for yourself. So you just need to step back and say, okay, God, I don't understand this, but I'm going to go with it. I don't get this, but I'm going to trust you. Honestly, that's when you see the trust, right? If you trust him or not. It's easy to trust Jesus when everything's going great. It's easy to trust Jesus when you're a business owner and business is coming in left and right. You're making more money than ever. Woo, I trust Jesus. Of course you do. Who doesn't? But when things start going wrong, when things aren't going the way you expect, the economy starts doing something different, now it's like a little bit harder to trust him. All right, well, Jesus, I sure like trust you better when we had plenty of money. Absolutely. But now things are rough. It's a little bit harder. You got to trust him. You got to change your perspective. Remember, you're not working for you. If you're a Christian, if you've accepted Christ into your heart, then you are a bond slave of him, which means you are tied to him and whatever he wants. So the real solution needs to be, okay, wow, this is I'm having a really tough time. I don't understand this. I had to do that when my back went out. You guys know my back went out last year. I was gone for 7 weeks. Horrible pain, worst pain I've ever been in my entire life. Didn't understand it. Had some really dark moments. Finally, I started changing. I'm like, all right, God, I don't know why, but I'm going to trust you. I didn't automatically get better. It wasn't like, oh, I said, okay, God, I trust you, and boom, I'm better. No, I trust you. That was about like week 3. I had 3 weeks of really dark, wasn't great. Glad I wasn't around. And then finally, I'm like, you know what? I got to change my perspective. I got to change the way I'm thinking about this. So I started internally changing who I am. All right, God, I don't understand why this is happening, but I do know that I trust you. I do know that I love you. I do know that I'm committed to you. I do know that I put my life in your hands, and that's the way I'm going to stay. And God, I'm going to give this to you. We can all do that. Practice gratitude. Practice thankfulness. Practice. I'm telling you guys, it will change your life. Next week, I'm going to teach another thing about thankfulness and gratefulness. This will change your life. The reason I'm doing this right now is because, listen, we are so close to getting things accomplished, to getting things done around here. I feel there's a shift coming. I feel there's a move coming. We're gonna do some big stuff. But in the midst of all of that, let's not forget who we are, what we are, why we're here, who we're supposed to reach, and let's do things in a way that blows people away by who we are. Be thankful, be grateful. Can we do that? All right, let's finish up the Kahoot. We've got a couple questions we're going to get through here. We've got awards today, gift certificates. So let's get to them. Let's get to the next question. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who wrote it? Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, or John Kennedy? Who wrote it? Thomas Jefferson. There you go. All right, keep going. Let's go to the next one. Which president was born on July 4th? I'll be impressed if you get this one right. Abraham Lincoln, John Adams, Calvin Coolidge, or George Washington? Which one was born on July 4th? Calvin Coolidge. Calvin Coolidge. We just separated the crowd there, right? Look at that. We only had 6 people get it right. All right, let's see who's winning at this point in time. I think we have one question left. So, Abby, where's Abby at? Abby's in the lead, but only by 4 points. All right, Papa can catch up here. All right, let's go to the next question. Which state was first to celebrate? The 4th of July, yes. Which state was first to celebrate? Massachusetts, Virginia, California, New York. Massachusetts. There we go. All right. So that was the last one, right? Let's bring up the winner. The winner is, in last place. Oh, you got one wrong. Look at that. She dropped all the way back. And first place, and the winner today, Papa. Who's Papa? Hey, all right. Who knew Ron was such a history buff? That's it for today, guys. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. Remember our fireworks booth. If you can help, please sign up. And at the very least, if you buy fireworks, make sure you buy them from us. All right? The fireworks this year go to our youth program, our youth department. So come and buy fireworks from us. Help us promote this. That would be great. But you guys have a great 4th. Spend it with somebody you love. Be grateful. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much.